Good morning. It is Sunday, February 22nd. Let's dive in. Let's get into the news. There's some interesting things going on in our world today. I'm happy to be here with you. Looks like an armed man has been shot and killed after unauthorized entry into Mar-a-Lago. That is interesting. I would like to see more insane asylums come back in this country. Instead of validating people's lack of mental health, I would like to see us treat them and keep them occupied instead of just letting them run around the country doing whatever they want. Mar-a-Lago is very, very, at least my assumption, based on looking into this. The Mar-a-Lago is a very secure place. The fact that people feel compelled to go there and sneak in, and he had a gun. I have no idea what his intentions are. Let's see what they've got. Now we're on Fox News. We're going to start there today and see what it's got for us. Let's see here. Looking into the potential motive. Man in his early 20s. That's not good. Mental health. A lot of these shooters seem to be very, very young these days. Man in his early... excuse me, I am still waking up. Man in his early 20s was shot and killed early Sunday after allegedly breaching the secure perimeter of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Secret Service said it occurred at 1:30 a.m. Individual was observed at the North Gate carrying what appeared to be a shotgun and a fuel can. Interesting. Oh, that's an interesting sentence. Agents and a deputy from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office confronted the man who was pronounced dead. A lot happens in that sentence. They confronted the man who was pronounced dead. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of crazies out there, folks. Way more than what you think. If you don't think that they are in your neighborhood, they are. If you don't think they are in your schools and your grocery stores and standing behind you at the bank, they are. Whether you're in the city or small town America, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in a red state or blue state. The crazies are out there. Stay safe, folks. Let's see what else is in the news. U.S. military hospital ship headed to Greenland to take care of sick. That seems funny. Danish defense minister insists Greenland receives the health care it needs. The Danish defense minister is going to get in trouble here. And I'll tell you why. Both of these things can't be true at once. They can't be receiving the health care it needs, and Trump is very, very graciously sending a U.S. military hospital ship. Now that seems like a greater plot could be afoot here. Sending a hospital ship to Greenland. We already have a presence in Greenland with our military, and what's the political motive, especially with the problem of trying to buy Greenland from from Denmark? Why do we need to send a hospital ship to Greenland except if there is a hospital need? That is funny. Let's see what else they say. Let's see. Sending a great hospital boat. Working with the fantastic governor of Louisiana, Greenland, to take care of many sick people who are not being taken care of. That's funny. That's funny. This is one of those news stories where there's not a lot of info. It's pretty much, Whether there's a sick person in Greenland or not, I think this could be Trump just stirring the pot, just poking at the officials in Denmark. But maybe he's going to uncover a hornet's nest. Maybe there's more to it, and we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see. U.S. warns Americans of Al-Qaeda-linked terrorist presence in destination getaway. If you haven't been following the Sean Ryan podcast with Sarah Adams, there is a Al-Qaeda and Taliban terrorist presence across this country. And if that's news to you, I encourage you to go listen to Sarah Adams on the Sean Ryan podcast. They lay it all out. There is maybe they don't want to scare people. Maybe it's an idea that it would just create chaos if everybody was aware of these things. I don't believe that. I don't expect the government to take care of me. I would prefer to be prepared and know of the threats around me. I see headlines like this, and the first thing I think is that's exactly what they want us to think, because in reality, it's all around us, folks. There's terror cells growing across this country right now, and my fear is that nothing's going to happen until it is too late. We're going to get another 9/11, and that's supposed to galvanize the country and bring us all together, and it's all a bunch of horse dung. Let's see here. Some more Olympic stuff. Major bank makes stunning admission about Trump accounts in $5 billion legal battle. Dive into that. Chase Bank debanked President Trump. I think that was a terrible mistake. If they're going to get political on banking, watch President Trump get political on banking. See who swings the bigger stick there. It's not going to work out great for Chase. Now, the interesting thing is Chase, it's a very powerful bank. It's a very old bank. What you want to pay attention to is what's going on when President Trump talks about the Fed. Now, he's been very vocal on ousting the former Fed chair. He's been very vocal on lowering interest rates. I really think, and this is my personal opinion, I think we need to get rid of the Fed. Just get rid of it completely. We don't need a third-party organization that is not a government entity managing our banking and setting rates. And it's pseudo-government. It's one of the most corrupt institutions. It's probably the most corrupt institution in our country is the Federal Reserve. It sounds official because it has federal in the name, but it's nothing more than a giant money laundering scheme. I would love to see the Fed go away, or I would love to see us go back to some form of the gold standard for our currency. I don't think it will be feasible for the entire U.S. currency to go back under the gold standard, but I imagine we could probably do something with some kind of a difference between foreign and, or let's say international and domestic forms of trade with the country. If we could shore up our domestic economy with gold-backed currency and maintain our international currency as a fiat, I'd have to do some thinking and some studying on that. But if the fiat currency is backed by the full faith and confidence of the people of the United States of America, I would love to see us operate for our own wealth and prosperity on the gold standard, and let the rest of the world trade on the fiat-backed system. I think that would probably be the most feasible. I don't think we have enough gold I don't think it's in Fort Knox. I don't think we have enough gold in this country, and I don't think we could get our hands on it to back the entire economy and all the currency we have out there by gold. What makes it more, what's more feasible is if we back our domestic production and our domestic currency with gold. I think that makes a lot more sense, and it would be it would need to be a hybrid system. Let's see here. What else do we have, folks? Nazi war criminals discovered living freely in Argentina under false identity. Is that a surprise to anybody? All the news and conspiracies. I mean, are we really believing that? That doesn't seem like news to me. We all know Nazi war criminals fled to Argentina. And they all fled to South America post World War II. No news there. Let's see here. Well, yeah, what's your, if anybody's out there in the chat, what's your appetite? Is there anything that you find important? I'm just skipping over the things I don't find important. Let's see here. News. India, AI, and America's new Global South strategy come together. Let's take a look at that. Chose New Delhi to move outward as domestic policies turn inward. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like there was an AI summit in India. What's the deal? What's the deal that they have here? Well, looks like we want to shore up support with India for some of our domestic production. Expand our ecosystem. We want it to pair well with the world. So it's a form of anti-isolationist with this AI, which is probably the better way to go, because the countries that play the isolationist game in this tech race will be sorely disappointed. You're going to be passed up very, very quickly. Let's see. They've got a lot of resource. Let's see. Minerals, low-cost assembly. Yep. So India will be a strategic partner then for AI for the United States. That seems good. Well, I think I clicked on something else here. All right. Okay. Well, let's see. Anything else here? Now, somebody left their dog behind at the Vegas airport. They couldn't take the dog on the plane with them, so they just left it. Now, those are the kinds of scumbags that need to go to the insane asylum. That's a litmus test right there. You could just ask them, look at this dog's face. Would you leave it behind? Anybody that would say yes? They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. I don't care if you're just a cat person. Who could leave that dog behind? I would rather walk to my destination than leave that dog and just abandon him. It's utterly despicable. Let's see here. Anything else? Let's jump over to CNN. Let's see what they've got going on. Armed man shot and killed in perimeter of Mar-a-Lago. Okay, that is pretty straightforward. Yep, looking in the chat here. Yes, that is so sad about that dog. It should really be the main headline here. Anybody that leaves leaves a dog at the airport like that. Deport them. Get them out of here. Let's see. Treasury Secretary defers to lower courts on the issue of tariff refunds. You know, tariff refunds are the stupidest thing in the world. I know Americans probably paid a great amount of those tariffs. But here's the thing, and this is going to apply not just to our federal government, but to all the local governments here. If you're any kind of official in any kind of budget authority, now is the time to be saving money. If you're not finding ways to save the constituents and your taxpayers money, find a way to save the government money. Don't. Now's not the time to start raising taxes and going through expansionist plans. There is harder times on the horizon, folks. There are. If you've been following the wars, the war in Ukraine and Israel, we still have Venezuela and Greenland we've got to sort out. We're still not secured completely on our southern border. We don't have peace completely secured with our cartels. We really need the Western Hemisphere to be secure, North and South America. There is a lot of work to do, and it is not going to be all sunshine and happy days ahead. It will get harder. If you think the economy looks bad now with the tariffs, it will get harder before it gets better, and that's just the reality of our politics and our dysfunction in this world. Now, I hope I'm wrong. If tomorrow I wake up in the Ukraine war, if Russia and Ukraine have declared peace, if Israel and Iran and the rebels in Syria, if all of them have just declared peace, I still wouldn't be convinced that better days are ahead. In peaceful times, weak men make hard times happen. Well, right now we're dealing with the fallout of having weak policies and weak men in power for so long, and I don't see it coming out. We don't have enough strength. We're getting better. Like I talked the other day, hard times, adversity builds character. We have not built enough character to come out of the hard times yet. Now is the time to prepare. If you're not preparing out there, folks, you need to prepare. You need to have emergency plans. You need to have some food storage and water purification capabilities. You need to have a plan. I'm not convinced that the adversary in the United States, within our own borders, is done with us. I don't think we're anywhere near to having peace like some of us remember having. Now, what that means, I think this is going to be a year of escalation. I think if they can keep the intensity in our minds cranked up, we're going to see more riots. This is an election year. It's the midterms. I think we're going to see more division. And some of these headlines. Let's see if I can find anything that points us in the right direction with what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Okay, that's one from yesterday. I'm going to refresh this. Tell you what, let's click on CNN US, see what's going on. Let's see. Trump doubles down. Yeah. Disassembling the trad wife. Oh, I don't even know. You guys can click on that one. Court clears way for Louisiana law requiring 10 commandments in classrooms. That's fine. Um, Terrorism-related event after driver rammed car into Nevada power station. Interesting. Texas man was fatally shot by a federal immigration agent. Yeah, I don't know what to make of CNN. It is like vomit on this page. There's no organization. It is hard to see what they even want you to read. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's jump over to East Idaho News. Let's see what they have to say here. Let's refresh here. Crews battle massive fire at Baker Country Market in Salmon. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's see. Homeland Security suspends TSA pre-check and global entry airport security programs. It just seems like a bad idea just to publicly announce some changes to TSA. If we've got crazy people storming Mar-a-Lago, if you just tell them that you've lightened up security at the airports, it just paints a giant target at airports. It's a low-hanging fruit, folks. I think that's a terrible mistake. Oh, let's see here. A lot of sports stuff. Ex-South Korean president remains defiant following life sentence for rebellion. It's unfortunate. Meridian ambulance attack suspect. Oh, okay. Well, that's one. I don't know if you guys remember this one. I didn't report on this. Paramedics in Canyon County say they were shocked to learn someone stole their ambulance outside the emergency department at St. Luke's and crashed it into a nearby office building. Do you know what office building they crashed it into? Do you know? Let's see if they got a picture of it. It's this one. This is the St. Luke's office building that has a DHS tenant in it. It's ridiculousness. So we just got done talking about this a few days ago. There was a stupid story written about this. Some people were protesting and upset that St. Luke's was leasing space to DHS, and they gave a microphone and a platform to these community organizers, which is the silliest name. These folks were saying we're concerned about the safety of people in this community, and it's like, well, you know what? If we are enforcing the laws, we really should be rounding up anybody that is committing a crime. We should be enforcing the laws and deporting people that are not legally here, are not part of any legal process while they are here. If we're just going to look the other way, what you end up with are the crazies, the crazy people who have made it a moral stance to fight against the law enforcement, who are enforcing the laws. Just having an office space leased. This isn't even an ICE processing facility. It's just an office space. They stole an ambulance and ran it through the front of this building. Now let's see if we can find those details. If I remember, the person doused the area in fuel. They just weren't able to light it. It's ridiculous. You know, it's absolutely uncalled for, and the community ought to be ashamed of themselves over there in Meridian for allowing this. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta find where I was again. Let's see. I think I was somewhere in here. Let's see. Meridian Ambulance. Utah Supreme Court rejects appeal to overturn congressional map with Democratic-leaning district. that's just another highlight of the fall of Utah. They've been so progressive and so comfortable in their suburbanite lives. It's just life got so good in Utah. It was so safe, so comfortable, so prosperous. They had to just ruin it with progressive junk. That Salt Lake Valley, it is very, very disappointing. I had a lot of hope for Utah, and they're going to play a big role on the national stage because they will be sending more Democratic representatives to Washington. It's really disappointing, but that's why I say we should really build the wall on the southern border. Just we need to aim a little bit further north. We need to build the wall between Utah and Idaho. I think we can stem the tide of that. Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you decide who you think I'm talking about. I won't. It's Sunday. I'll be a little nicer today. Let's see. Trump raised tariffs. We already talked about that. Third patient has died after Idaho cut Medicaid mental health service. Now, did they die because of the cut, or is this just people unhappy that there's a cut, so they're going to blame the death on it? Let's see here. Co-owns Access Behavioral Health in Boise. She said an official cause of death for a patient hasn't been released, but she believes the death was preventable, saying the cut program was designed to help people address their basic needs. Let's see. Third death among patients who were receiving mobile specialized treatment in less than 3 months. What was the treatment? Let's see. What was the treatment? Well, this is the crazy part, folks. You know, there are some people that think we should just be writing blank checks to doctors, and we should just give into the bleeding hearts of the world and just fund everything, just fund it all. And that I don't want people to die. I'm an advocate for having more insane asylums and bring back the more mental health facilities. Now that's going to cost money. That's not free. But if you look at the history of writing blank checks to organizations that have an incentive to treat people who are sick, I believe that's a lot of the problem with our mental health in this country. We have enabled the problem. We have enabled it. At the same time, the woke policies of validating people's illnesses as if the illness is some mark of honor, and at the same time we have validated that, we have funded the same organizations that diagnose these problems, and they're tied up with the same organizations that have an incentive to treat the symptoms but not the cause. There are so many problems in this country where we just expect a pill and a Band-Aid to fix it. And by golly, our policies and our legislators, they're supported by the people that make and sell the pills and the Band-Aids. Nobody is, there are people, but really when it comes to health and it comes to your problems and it comes to your mental health, we are living in the greatest time in all of human history. And we've got people who are in the upper middle class just drowning in depression pills and anxiety, and everybody's got PTSD, and everybody's got a label, and everybody has a symptom that they wear as a badge of honor, as if that gives them a pass in life. We've stopped trying. We've stopped kicking our own butts here. And yes, life is hard. And life is hard. And we all have problems. But we've given up on being human. We've expected drugs and somebody else to fix our problems. And it's nobody else's responsibility. It is our own responsibility, and we have to take accountability for ourselves, folks. If you're struggling, do the things that help the most, and I guarantee you, it is not your prescription medication. Literal sunshine, exercise, having purpose in your life, getting out and interacting with others. As we do this on YouTube, on a computer, the irony is not lost on me. In the days when some of this would just be on the radio, that was better. You could multitask and just listen. It really is unfortunate. We have billions of dollars in this country, and I believe Health and Human Services in Idaho alone is well over $1 billion. We can look that up real quick here. Let's see here. Let's look it up. What is the budget for Health and Human Services? What is the Idaho budget for Health and Human Services? I think it's over $1 billion in this little state of Idaho. Let's see what it says here. $1.3 billion in state funds. Folks, state funds alone, $1.3 billion for Medicaid in 2026. In Medicaid, covers over 90,000 residents. Oh no, it covers a lot more than that. It really, really does need an overhaul. And I'm not saying cut all the programs, and I'm not saying fend for yourselves. That's not how we fix things. I'm a very compassionate person, and I think we need to take a compassionate approach to how we deal with some of these things. But we cannot keep writing blank checks to the healthcare industry. We cannot keep propping up the industries that have an incentive to have sick people, to have patients for life. We should be working ourselves out of a job in the medical industry. That's what we should be doing. There should be no incentive for people to have very lucrative careers treating sick people. We're all just going to be sick the rest of our lives, folks. I've beat that horse to death. Let's see here. And this, I was talking about this earlier, and when I was looking for headlines that are kind of silly. This one's Channel 2, Idaho News. This one, look at these two headlines here. This is out of Boise. This is a Boise area news station. Immigrant who struck and killed 8-year-old on Harrison Boulevard, deported. So we've got this headline of an immigrant who killed an 8-year-old. They finally got deported. Look at this, 2 down. Stolen ambulance rammed into DHS office building in Meridian, where the suspect poured gasoline. Those two headlines right next to each other. In Meridian, we have people protesting DHS, which isn't even ICE, but it's just the greater DHS, and they steal an ambulance and run it through the front of the office building and attempt to just burn it all down. We have crazies protesting that, while at the same time the work that DHS and ICE is doing is this: deporting an immigrant who killed an 8-year-old. That's I don't know what to call it. It's insanity to me. The community, half the community is supporting the police and the rule of law, and trying to clean things up. As hard as that is, it is the right thing to do. And the other half is just looking the other way. It doesn't make any sense, folks. Like, we need to get back to some moral basics and moral understanding. That right there is the state of our country, right there. We're finally deporting someone who killed an 8-year-old, and at the same time, the other half of the country is stealing ambulances and driving them into buildings to protest that. It makes no sense to me. Let's see here. Looking at the comments, this one says, I don't understand how people think they can just destroy property and commit these crimes. Well, how you get to a place of that, you take a whole lot of entitlement and you throw in a dash of mental illness. Yeah, it doesn't matter if that's not your ambulance. It doesn't matter if that's not your office building. It doesn't matter that DHS and ICE are deporting people who have killed children. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you feel entitled, and you feel moral superiority in acting out and lashing out. That is power. You have lashed out. You have taken power from the man, and there is no moral compass there. It is somehow, and I say somehow because though I believe this to be the way things are going, I don't relate to this line of thinking. Somehow these folks, these people that are doing that, they get they get a it's not a kudos. It's a confirmation. They get an affirmation from, be it evil or Satan or their own community or their little group of friends, whatever it is that they immerse themselves in. It gives them a confirmation and an affirmation that what they did was good. Has nothing to do with moral clarity. Has nothing to do with conscience. They get an affirmation of the crimes and that they committed. It is, if you examine any of the protests going around the country about ICE, it is self-gratifying. They're patting themselves on the back. There is no God with these protesters, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous, folks. If someone admits to a moral power higher than them, we can deal with that. Because we can understand our opponent. But when they are godless, that is incredibly dangerous and incredibly tough. Yes, it is virtue signaling. It is. But why do people virtue signal? They get a positive affirmation from it. Something reaches out and touches them and says, "Hey, that was good." And you see it with people who just attack peaceful people. We see it. People who attack churches. Why would you attack a church? It is not the enemy. It really is not. But people do that not because they're led by a higher power or some kind of greater good. No, it's because they are devoid of it. And when the winds blow through their brain, they are getting a positive affirmation from whatever evil is floating through them, and it is sad. It really is sad, folks. That's why we need to prepare. We need to prepare in our communities and be vigilant, because I believe the crazies out there, they are the minority. They really are. They are the minority. But they're the loud minority, and most of us normal folks, we just want to be left alone. It is tiring to go out and try and protest on behalf of the political beliefs that I have. I've got better things to do. I have a job. I have multiple jobs. I have a family. I've got things that I want to do that are way more important. I don't take I don't take things like that lightly. For me to go let alone ever have the desire to steal an ambulance and drive it into an office building. I just do not relate to that. I have much better things to do. I have no desire for that kind of behavior, let alone go out and protest and make signs and chant and put on a display. I have no desire for that. I have some very strongly held beliefs. But I believe things should be decided at the ballot box, not on the street corner. I understand that is not that's just not the way a lot of these folks believe. You have to stay vigilant. Organize within your churches and your neighborhoods and get to know the people around you, because when people start driving vehicles into buildings in your neighborhood, you need to know who you can rely on, and if you're someone who can be relied on, you need your neighbors to know that. Get prepared, folks. Let's see here. We already talked about some of this. What else have they got for us? Lots of gang members in Caldwell. They need to clean that up. Yep, we got recent snowfall. It was fantastic. The southern part of the country gave us our snow back, which was fantastic. So now everybody's out skiing and snowboarding. Great for the economy. Let's see here. Yeah, Iran doesn't want a war. Trump doesn't want a war. What we would see if anything does happen, we're going to see some very big bombs dropped on Iran. We're not going to let that opportunity go to waste. We will, this is my hope, we will depose the government in Iran. It is time. And that would be the greatest bit of peace that the Middle East would ever see, if we changed the regime in Iran to where they were no longer the largest financier of terrorism in the region. Now, I say that kind of, it is crazy, because yes, I do believe Iran is the largest financier of terrorism in the region. Unfortunately, it is the United States that has funded Iran. So we really do need to make some changes over there. And instead of sending billions of dollars in currency, we should send billions of dollars in bombs. And we just need to cut that off right now. That may seem a little bit harsh, but it's time for action. Let's see, what else is going on out there? Anything? We've got some gossip. I think we've reached the end of it here, folks. We've been going for 45 minutes. I would love to hear from you if you have any thoughts on anything I've said, if you have any questions or concerns, if there's any stories that I've not covered that are important to you, definitely leave me a comment. Send me a message. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to read the news. We're going to go over some ideas that maybe are controversial, maybe that challenges you, but we're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep moving our communities forward and building awareness and capability. Stay safe out there. Watch out for the crazies. Defend your communities, defend your neighbors, defend your families. and keep preparing. Times are going to get worse before they get better, but we'll keep talking. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.